Hey guys, so today I'm finishing up my list of the top 100 coins. So I'm going to be reviewing the top 20 coins on Marketcap and kind of giving some of my thoughts, perspectives on some of those projects and how I see them performing. At least for the next 5 months. Maybe I'll do this like every roughly about it. I did this 5 months ago, and I kind of gave some of my picks back then. So I'll show you guys kind of how those performed. And I think I'm gonna probably end up doing this like periodically. I don't know if I'm gonna do it every 5 months, but roughly about that. So I might be coming back and reviewing this list in December and seeing how those projects perform. But it's interesting to kind of look back, 5 months and kind of seeing where I saw the market and where I believe some of these projects are kind of going in the future, and kind of giving some of my picks moving forward. So, and what's interesting sometimes is like when I'm looking into these projects, like I don't necessarily know a whole lot about them kind of going in. Like I'm kind of looking into them like right before my stream if I don't know much about them. A lot of them I know quite a bit, especially these top market cap coins. But yeah, I'm just going to show you guys basically kind of where I was seeing the market basically 5 months ago. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Like I had VeChain as my top pick, EOS, Neo, Quantum, and Cardano. So I have this list in the description below. And the number below is basically what the current ranking is. And basically the squiggly line is basically meaning that these really haven't moved. And so there was really only two that kind of came off this list: Bitcoin Gold and Lisk. But they really haven't dropped that much. So they're kind of still in the top 30. These are my picks moving forward. So not a whole lot of change. So the ones in green are new to the list. I mean, OMG has been pretty high up on the list. And right next to it, I have the volume in millions. So this is kind of interesting, at least to kind of see a lot of the coins that I was looking at previously. They're a little bit lower on the list. I was ranking those a little bit higher based on volume, and that's not necessarily the biggest indicator or thing that I'm looking at when I'm redoing my list kind of moving forward. So for this round, I would say my top pick that I like out of this demographic of coins right now is Cardano, followed by VeChain. Ethereum's moved up the list because of all of the different projects and things that are kind of coming on into the Ethereum ecosystem. So there's currently quite a bit of issues with the gas. It's been something that like has made me not really want to really really kind of move Ethereum around right now, is because the gas prices are pretty high. So like you can see that right now, like here it's pretty much maxed out. Like the gas prices, this is a little bit lower than what it's been the day before. Yesterday I was kind of looking, I was like, I wanted to move a little bit around, and then it was going to cost me like roughly about $1 or $2 in gas, just to kind of move some ETH around. So gas prices are just super high right now. So there's been some different people I've been watching and kind of have some of their theories on that, but I imagine there's going to be some solutions to that here in the near future. But some of these other projects, Cardano, VeChain, OMG, EOS, these Neo, even TRON, these are some projects that are kind of branding themselves as kind of the next generation blockchain. And so I see those as potentially doing pretty well. Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, been kind of two coins have been around a long time. I still kind of ranking those a little bit higher than what I had them last time. I had most of the major coins was really kind of more in a small position, like basically the top 5. Now out of this list, I'm kind of moving Ethereum up. I'm moving Litecoin up, and I'm still kind of keeping a smaller position. Like I really don't have much Bitcoin. I don't think I really have any. Most of the Bitcoin that I've had, I've pretty much gotten rid of or put into other projects. So I don't really see Bitcoin as as the greatest hold right now. Like, I mean, I think there's a lot of other projects that you know, you could put your money into that would do much better than, you know, kind of banking on Bitcoin. Like, I don't really see Bitcoin really breaking out and just kind of going on a meteoric rise anytime soon. Just the interest has really kind of died off. If you're looking at some of the Google Analytics of people that are looking into Bitcoin per se, I think really right now the altcoin market is kind of where at least the opportunity is. Now the Bitcoin dominance is fairly high, so and has been coming up a little bit. Like, this is a little bit of a history. And you can kind of see here, you know, basically in the last, you know, since May, you know, it's been increasing, you know, a little bit. Let's take a look at the last month. Sometimes this isn't the, you know, the best indicator, but you know, Bitcoin dominance was around 37%. You know, currently at about 42%. So it's come up about 5%. You know, Ethereum basically, you know, remaining relatively the same. And really the one that seems to have come down is like the others. The others, well, not a whole lot. I think just everything in general has kind of come down a little bit. Like, there's been basically a few points that's been shaved off these charts. But, you know, for me, like, Bitcoin is, you know, I think it may be good to get into when we see a lot more interest in Bitcoin, but I could see it really kind of stagnating and staying in this kind of bear market right now, and that's why, like, I have it much lower on my list. You know, it's still kind of like the grandfather coin, but I just don't see it moving a whole lot. I think it'd be better, you know, to invest in some of these other projects that are showing a lot more promise. So that's kind of where I have those. Kind of the ones I'm putting on the sideline: Stellar, Tezos, which is up big today. IOTA. I mean, the volume with Tezos is the smallest of all of these projects, and probably followed by NEM Coin, which was much higher in its history. I mean, you know, it's kind of has been in the 4th and 5th position for quite a long time, and recently it's kind of dropped off. IOTA was one that, you know, I kind of missed the boat on. You know, maybe in the fall of last year, I was, you know, kind of wanting to get into that project a little bit kind of before it took off, but it's still one that you know, has some people that are pretty skeptical about it. So, like, for instance, I think the biggest one that comes to mind is if you watch Richard Hart talk about it. I mean, he just bashes IOTA. He basically just talks about how it's not a great project, but it you know, it's come up. You know, like, when I first really started getting interested in this, you know, it was under like 40 cents. So, I mean, it's come up quite a bit. And, like, you can see here, basically in that, you know, December timeframe. Like, this is when, like, if you've been watching my stream, like, I went on a date and was talking with this gal that was in crypto, and I think we were talking about it, like, right in here. Yeah, it was like early November, and then boom, it just shot up. So, I mean, it went all the way up to like over $4, $4.50. So, you know, a lot of volume in that particular time frame, but it's kind of been in a downtrend. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it. A lot of volume in Bitfinex, Binance, and some of these other, you know, major exchanges. So it's going to continue to do pretty well. But, you know, like, my theory has been getting more into the kind of the inverse market cap coins. I like the smaller market cap coins. I think there's a lot more opportunity for those and potential for those to really boom in the market, as opposed to you know, the coins that are in the top 20. You know, I mean, just looking at this list, like, you know, nothing's really moved a whole lot. I mean, a lot of these, you know, you can see the yellow. I mean, these are really haven't moved a whole lot. There's only been really a few additions to this list, and a lot of these have kind of maintained their position. So, you know, I think, like, some of the smaller, I guess you look at them as smaller projects, there's not as much volume in them, because like what I'm seeing right here is like these projects don't have quite as much volume overall compared to some of the other larger projects these are all kind of in the hundreds of millions. You know, again, hundreds of millions, Bitcoin being the most dominant in terms of volume. And then these ones, you know, not so much. So it'll be interesting to see how those picks kind of play out. You know, I kind of use this list periodically to kind of get into the altcoin market. I'm currently kind of holding a bunch of bags in a bunch of different exchanges on projects that I got into basically 5 months ago on, you know, when I first did this list. So there's been a lot of altcoins that I haven't done as well from, but you only really lose when you sell. So I'm hoping that those kind of come up in value and I can kind of sell out of my position, and then, you know, based on that, you know, maybe take a little bit of a look into the market and see, you know, what projects I'd like to get into. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I left a link in the description below. This is my last video where I was kind of going into some of my picks. So you can see here, like I have, these were my picks here. So what's going on, Tim Jackson, Alex? It's getting on here super late, so a lot of people I think are gonna be watching this after the stream. I'm probably gonna keep this stream a little bit shorter. This, you know, I want to do these kind of periodic reviews of the cryptocurrency market. They're not necessarily like the most popular because they don't tend to. Maybe there's other topics that are maybe a little bit more clickbaity, or that people are kind of interested in hearing about. I'm kind of staying away from some of those for now. There's a lot of projects that are kind of going on that I'm still kind of, you know, trying to do a little bit more research before I kind of give my perspective or my opinion on. But you know, this is kind of where I'm seeing the altcoin market. You know, just taking a look at the overall market. One thing I was kind of encouraged to see was right here down the list. Just yesterday, we were talking about PundyX. So PundyX is actually now being listed in, you know, basically the top 40. So I reviewed, you know, coins 21 through 40 yesterday. And at that time, PundyX was not listed because it was not recognized in the market cap. And that had been the case for actually quite a while. So it looks like just recently they're now, you know, kind of looking, you know, they're recognizing this on CoinMarketCap, and it's doing really well today, up, you know, 16.5%. Digibyte, I know that I was watching some videos, like everyone was kind of talking, hey, Digibyte, you know, it's exploding. So that's kind of doing pretty well, you know. Digibyte was one of the first coins that I really kind of went in big on back in like 2013, and I got burned pretty bad on that because it, like, if we can take a look at this, like it went way up in value. I guess it's not really going to show. I guess this is 2014, like the beginning of 2014, or, you know, it's not going to show a whole lot of the history, but you can see like it was a much higher valuation, kind of came down and really didn't do anything for a long time. And so, you know, I was holding those bags for a long time before I got out. But it has come up a little bit. Let's take a look. You know, Bittrex, Poloniex, hit BTC. But yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not currently holding any. But I thought it was kind of interesting to see it, you know, kind of pop in the market today. Let's take a look and see like what's been up today. It's been kind of a sideways market today. Loom Network up pretty big. Tezos, PundyX was the biggest winners. This Monaco one, I'm still very interested in this Monaco one. Like they have this card project. There was another one that I was looking at. Let me see if I can bring it up here on my computer. It was this Fuse X. So I was actually like watching an ad on this, and I thought this was kind of interesting. I'm just kind of looking at their white paper here, but this Fuse X looks really interesting. They kind of have like a, I don't know how to describe this, but a little bit of like a readout of your actual balance in your wallet, and that's kind of associated with the card. So like I was kind of looking to get a little bit more into this project. I haven't registered yet, but I was watching an Ian Bellina video on it where he was reviewing it back in February. He basically was kind of saying, you know, he's staying on the sidelines for now. But, you know, if you guys are watching YouTube, you might see like the ad. I thought the ad was kind of interesting because it is like, if you follow me and you know kind of what I'm looking for for innovation. Like I'm looking for something that no one else is doing. And this is like a really interesting card because it's basically, you know, it's kind of like has this like chip in it, you know, where it's almost like a digital like video. You can kind of see this a little bit. So so I'm interested in this project. It's being traded now. You know, it's still fairly low. I think it was like 250 or so on CoinMarketCap. But Monaco is a little bit similar as well. It's basically a card. So I'm interested in getting more into some of these cards that you're able to transact cryptocurrency with. So those two I'm kind of looking into. And if you guys know of any other ones, be sure to, you know, drop your opinion below and let me know. I'll take a look into it. I might do a whole video series on cards that you can spend cryptocurrency with, because I think that's a big thing for people that are kind of new to cryptocurrency. And even right now, there's not as much interest in the cryptocurrency market, but people that are maybe on the sidelines or, you know, kind of, you know, not as interested in it. One of the biggest things they want to know is like, how do I spend crypto? Like, you know, how do I turn this into money? Like that's a big thing with some of the people that I've been, you know, working with here in Vietnam and the Philippines and a few other places. Like they're interested in crypto, but at the same time they want the utility of it. But yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm seeing the market today. So you know, like I think I'm, you know, I'm not as big of a proponent on some of the larger market cap coins, like ones in the top 10. Like, you know, even just looking today, you know, I mean, they just tend to not move, you know, a whole lot. You know, maybe not quite as much interest. If you're looking for a conservative play, that might be good, but you got to come way down the list here. I mean, what's the first one that's in the top 10? Be Stellar Lumens. And I'm not that, you know, as bullish on Stellar Lumens, you know, but yeah. What are some of the worst performers? Let's see. Mithril, Cortex. These are two that I was kind of reviewing a little bit earlier. Were kind of interesting, but yeah, some of these are some projects that I still want to see a little bit more, you know, history out of it. Dropil's down a little bit, but it's good to see Smart Cash in the list. I was pretty bullish on Smart Cash, and then it really dropped down in the list, and now it's come back a little bit, which is good. Look at that, just really, you know, exploded during the one time. That's, I think, when I first kind of hit my radar, and then I started getting invested in it right here, you know, kind of toward the tail end, thinking, you know, we may see a little bit more of a rebound, and it really just kind of leveled out. But volumes come back, so this one might be an interesting one to get into. You know, this could pop in the market. Volumes are still fairly low, and mostly in HIT BTC. Almost all of it hit BTC, about 98%. So typically that's a little bit of a red flag for me. If it's too, the volume's too centralized in one particular exchange. I use crypto to pay small bills. I mean, I'm living on crypto. Like trying to find easier ways. You know, I still can't get a bank account here. It's crazy, you know, like how the difficulty of getting, you know, a bank account, you know, like I want to give you my money. I want to, you know, pay my bills, and, you know, they just make it really difficult, particularly here in Vietnam. It's a little bit easier in the Philippines, Cambodia, China, from what I hear. I'm looking at getting a visa to China, and that's actually pretty difficult for Americans, finding out. So I'm working with a guy that's trying to help me, you know, get a visa. But like you have to get like a really long-term visa in China, and they want you to pay a bunch of money. So so I don't know, because I was just wanting to go there for like, you know, a week or two. But Clover, when beta MBOT, I think they're still working on a lot of stuff kind of behind the scenes. So I've seen MBOT, like I was working or talking with Austin a little bit. So he showed me showed me how it worked and showed me a little bit behind the scenes. So I think that it's the first of its kind of having the user, having the ability for the user to go in and get in and kind of manually use it. Like some of the stuff that I was doing before with like Hosbot was much more technical and kind of set up. And it was kind of more like trading bots. It wasn't necessarily like arbitraging. You could set it up for arbitraging, but yeah, I'm interested to kind of see how that works. I'm going to be looking to get a lot more involved in that. But arbitraging has kind of gone flat in the last 3 weeks. It's just kind of been bouncing between the 0.008, 0.01 price point. Let's take a quick peek. Arbitraging. It's been, roughly around 4. I try not to look too much at the dollar value because like it kind of fluctuates with Ethereum, and Ethereum's kind of been volatile lately. It's taking some time here, but let's take a look in the last 30 days. You can see here, like it shot up, right around $4, and it's been kind of leveling out right around $4. So it's plateaued at this price, and I think once we see, maybe the release of MBOT or some more news or some things, and we see some other investors starting to get into it, I think that it could see another like plateau in price where it comes up to $6, $7, $8, and then starts to kind of hold that position for a little while. That's kind of what I'm anticipating, but. Yeah, it's been a little stagnant. Like my recommendation, back then was to hold the coin. There was a lot of potential with the coin. There was, a lot of, it was really skyrocketing at certain times. And I was kind of anticipating, especially with more release of the MBOT or whatnot, like that was supposed to happen in June. And some of that's gotten delayed a little bit, but the project can I guess I'm just, you can make a lot more money with the price increase, the coin. Like if it goes to $8, it's going to be worth it to hold on to the coin as opposed to getting into, ABOT for 3 weeks and making, whatever, 1%. I mean, you're going to make, maybe roughly, if we're looking at 30% or, 26 to 30% returns a month, and you're in there for 3 weeks, you're looking at maybe like 18 to 20%. But if the price doubles, you could you could do a lot better. After the first video on the testing, then it will moon. Yeah, like I think I'm holding all my coins right now, so I don't have anything in the ABOT, and that's been my recommendation. And you only make money like if you're marketing the platform, if you're like talking about it and shilling it per se. You only get money by having people that are in the ABOT below you. So I'm not as money motivated. Like you don't really make a whole lot of money from that anyway. So a lot of these platforms that I'm kind of like recommending, I'm not really making anything from. But they're doing, all of them are doing fairly well. Like I think a lot of these are starting to have some stability. Like with the fallout of BCC, and then all the other kind of like copycat lending platforms in the next few months after that, and then just the overall just tanking of the market, everything was going down. Like there wasn't really anything that was doing well during that time. And now I think we're starting to see things recover a little bit. We're seeing a little bit more interest in some of these projects people are getting into. So I'm hopeful that all of these are going to stay around for the long term. But I'm getting diversified, getting into a lot of them. I use ZipPay all the time and use LROS to pay bills. I'll have to look into that. I don't know about those two. So yeah, I appreciate that. I'll look into that. But yeah, I would love to get, 5, 6, 7 cards that I can all spend crypto with. So right now I've got 2. I've got my BitPay card and I got my Shift card. Those have been my the only ones I've really used. And then it's been easier for me here in Vietnam just to get some of my crypto friends and just sell them some dong, because they understand it's a pain in the ass to and really not feasible to get a bank account. So they're kind of help me out from time to time. I just sell them a bunch of crypto. I just hate selling at these prices. So I just kind of hope the market recovers, and then I'm just gonna maybe get a safe or something, and start stacking some cash, since I can't put it in a bank. It's ridiculous. But Arthur update coming on Dropil. Okay, yeah, I haven't really been into Dropil as much. I need to get in there. I bought a bunch of Dropil. I might buy some more. It does do that thing where basically you can only put it in like every 14, 15 days. I think it's 15 days. So like I bought a bunch, but like even if I put it in, when I had it, it was going to be pending for like 13 days. So it's just kind of sitting on the sidelines right now. But I think I'm going to stack up on some Dropil before I gotta put it into Dex. And the Arthur one is also kind of interesting in terms of like arbitraging opportunities more manually. All right, guys, appreciate you all staying online. I'm gonna be looking at some different things and figure out kind of what topics I want to discuss kind of moving forward. So I'll probably do some updates on some of the projects I've been in and how those have been going, and maybe look for maybe another project or two to get into. I got a few that are on my radar. But what do you think about Vendure? Yeah, I'm still looking into it. Like I put like $70 in, and it doubled to like 140, but I don't know. Like I guess my problem with Vendure is I don't believe in the Bitcoin arbitraging that they're doing, unless they're more transparent with that. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't make money on the platform just based on hype and whatnot. So, I would not put a lot of money into it, but yeah, Austin, I saw like Austin did a video on it. There's Crypto Face did a video. I talked with him a little bit. A lot of people are kind of trashing the platform. The website does work really well. There's been a lot of comparisons to Devore in that sense, but my recommendation is if you get in, don't put a whole lot in until they maybe provide a little bit more transparency on what they're doing. I did talk with Bitcoin Bros, one of the developers, so I've been working with him a little bit. They are responsive. There are some positives about that platform, but there's a lot of red flags. So I'm just I'm putting in a little bit, and we'll just see how that rides. But I'm up so far. But yeah, guys. All right, appreciate y'all staying online, and I'll give you guys a good update on my next video tomorrow. All right, take care.